gross.
GDP Live is live. You know, it's in the name. Uh, we are here in the Dobby Warburson Memorial Caddick. And I am trying to pull up the comments for the Poundins, but it's not showing up here. So I guess I will have to bring it up on my. I can just read it from here. Fuck it. Who gives a shit? I can read it from the screen here. GDP Live every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday, right here from the Dobby Warburson Memorial Caddick from 11-ish until 1 p.m. If you don't like the video so much, you can always check out the audio only. Like I said, oh, I already had it muted too. Perfect. Perfect. Wherever you get that. But if you do want to check out the video, you can go to YouTube. If you don't want to check it out on Facebook, or you can't catch it live on Instagram as well, you can go to the YouTube channel, which is Baby Mermaid Productions on YouTube. And that is where you're going to find GDP, past episodes of the Gross Domesticated podcast, as well as you can find episodes of Proper Ebonics there, as well as Falls Count Anywhere with Youngblood and Manny. So if you like wrestling, there you go. If you like, actually, really, if you just like stand-up comics talking about things that they love, those are two great podcasts. And honestly, that's what I think podcast is like. That's what they kind of are. It's just like people that are good at talking, that are talking about things that they love. So that's what that is. So there's insightful dudes talking about things they love, and that's what I like to do too. So, what else? Oh yeah. So I had issues. The part of the reason, obviously, I'm always fashionably late to my own show, and it seems that today was partially Stanley playtime, not Stanley cuddle time, like it usually is, but it was Stanley playtime, as well as I was having issues with Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout has apparently some kind of DDoS hack. Hold on. I didn't realize. So I went to try to go to Buzzsprout this morning to try to post an episode, and I wasn't able to. It was actually just the it was giving me some kind of error, 569 58 420. It was giving me all the produce codes. It was it was giving me it was giving me bananas, it was giving me avocados, it was giving me everything, every bit of anxiety you can imagine. So if you but if you check that out, there's, I guess, I don't know if somebody, I know that some people that listen to the show and or pound off on there, they're also creators and may also have a podcast. So if you are having any issues, let me know. It's been on and off, but I tried to play all of episodes from Baby Mermaid Productions shows and was not able to. So if you're trying to get the audio only version episodes right now live as you're listening to it, you may still be experiencing issues because I noticed this email after I tried to post the thing. I don't check my email a ton. Not great at it. Maybe a New Year's resolution. Maybe I'll try to be better at it. Uh, it's a DDoS attack. A DDoS attack is where somebody spams a server with so many requests that it takes the entire site offline. I was not aware of that. So I don't know if they're sending them so many spams that it's just breaking their servers. It's really confusing. And I'm a guys, if you've ever listened to GDP before, or you're familiar with me as a person, I'm not a very patient person a lot of times. I have a short fuse for certain things. By the way, does everybody like my natural curls? Don was talking about my natural curls today. I just call this messy hair. I thought this was just messy hair, but I do realize, by the way, not on camera, not shown here, but I am in sweatpants. I do have my student loans gave me PTSD shirt. Go to Alan Massenberg or Massenberg Mass Hysterical. God damn it, masshysterical.com. Alan Massenberg, one of the co-hosts of Proper Ebonics. He has his own merch that I love. Honestly, I identify with a couple of his word shirts and or hoodies. So check it out. They're actually I can totally vouch for how comfortable they are. And he has some new merch actually that he's talking about on the most recent episode of Proper Bonics that will be out soon, about a certain phrase that he loves, that he thought about the shirt idea. A I'll It's a manifest abundance. Manifest abundance. He thought of manifest. It's a pun. That's what it is. I was trying to think of the word. It's wonderful. Hey, enjoy it. It's got a little bun on it, a little hamburger bun that he had designed for it. It's a lot of fun. So check out Mass Hysterical for that. I do realize that I look a bum. I'm a bum. I'm definitely not. But I don't know. I don't understand a lot about computers. I don't understand a lot about this stuff. I want it, like, I've had some issues with Buzzsprout in the past. And I'm maybe sometimes irrationally impatient. You know, but my natural curls, that's what I was talking about. I was wondering, how did I get on my fashion sense? My natural curls. Dawn liked my natural curls this morning, so she put some stuff in my hair that apparently is so great that I won't even notice it, but it'll bring out my natural curls, which she loves. So messy hair, bandana, whatever. But waking up, finding this, and then dressed like this with my natural curls all askew, I feel like I'm a cactus Jack in the streets and dude loving the sheets. Um, and if you want to see what I'm talking about, if you're getting the audio only version, you can check it out. Fashionably homeless. Yeah, exactly. I'm fashionably homeless, but I'm in a home. You know what I mean? Which is that's why it's on fashionably homeless. Um, but I woke up, learned a little bit about fashion, and I learned a little bit more about DDoS attacks. I love that they do get ahead of this, because this did make me feel that the only other issue that I've had a couple issues, and it's mainly with just the customer service at Buzzsprout. The service itself is not really that bad, but it was such a bad issue that I experienced. uh and I won't, I'm not going to go into detail with it, although the guy that I was talking to at the end of it was named Tom. I'm not saying that there's any kind of connection to the Tom that also is so negative in comments often, but hey, who knows, they could be related. Maybe it's just a Tom thing. But I don't know. I had an issue with that, and it was something with uploading an episode. This was an issue where I can't even log on to. There's no website. Like when you go to Buzzsprout, it's just like, nah, it's just those error codes, and it's like, we're working on it. But I do like that they're getting ahead of it, so that makes me feel like at least my complaints, because I did send quite a few complaints. What's up, Casey? Hold on. I don't understand why. Why would it, if I'm just streaming, I'm not actually trying to save anything here, why would it let me know that my storage is almost full? Who knows? But um, I waking up and trying to figure out about this DDoS attack, this anything else, it made me feel like, so at least maybe they got a couple of my fucking emails where I was just like, hey guys, you gotta fucking work on your customer service. Like, I understand I got irrational. I didn't start irrational. I always try to start very rational. And when it's a situation where it's like, have you tried this? Yes. Like, I look, all the time, because I was for a long time I was a service tech for a medical supply company, and I uh I would oftentimes, we're talking about it in the last episode with Dom about like tech support. I think we are talking about the not, maybe not the last episode, but the one right before, like having to deal with like tech support or talking someone through something. Like, I've done that so many times where like I I've tried that. I've tried that. I've tried this. I've tried, like, and I will put that in my initial email. Hey, I'm Pat. I hope you're having a great day. Here's my issue. I'm having an issue with this. I've tried this, this, and this. This hasn't worked, and I'm getting this message. Is there anything that I can do? And then it's just like, have you tried doing this? Yeah, that's in my email. Like, it's so disconnected. Of course, I said I wasn't going to get into it, but that's the issue, where it's like, it's not that you're not saying please and thank you, but it's like passive aggressively. It's like passive aggressively bad. Like, and to an extent where I'm just like, guys, I look, this is a you issue. Like, I pay you to be the place that I can go, I can put my shows, I can produce a thing, put it up, and boom. I have other people that rely on this too. They have content that they would like to be featured, like you said. You know, I pay you this much and you do this. So I'm not usually a dick to that extent. It has to, I have to get there, but there is an expectation there. Like I understand there's things out of our control. A lot of the I give a lot of credit, or not a lot of credit, I give a lot of slack for pandemic. I give a lot of wiggle room for pandemic, a lot of demic wiggle room, Jesus. But I don't like it when, like, you're just not reading the fucking message. I said this, I said I fucking did that. Like, can you put, so it goes like, but I still don't like yell. I still don't get, and even still in my messages, I'm just like, this is my issue. I'm not going to repeat. It's my issue with customer service with the fucking Nectar Pillow people, any of that shit. So the fact that they're getting ahead of this and saying like, hey guys, we don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't even know if they're getting ahead of it, really. The email I got was saying that that happened like yesterday. And it's still like it's happening throughout whatever the DDoS is. I honestly started to look into it, and I was just like, no, I don't care. I don't care. But like the fact that they're like, this is an issue, everybody's having this issue. So whether or not there was a real issue that was had before, like with whatever I was trying to upload, I was still able to access other episodes. It just wasn't something, it was, and like I said, it was just handled wrong. I like the fact that they got ahead of this, but it's just they spam the account, cause a traffic jam on a highway. I like that they also in the email they sent a picture of a traffic jam, or like on the Twitter. I had to go to the Twitter to find out before I actually checked my email. They had already sent me the email, but I went there and it was like they showed a picture of a traffic jam. In case you don't know what a traffic jam looks like, they showed you. It's kind of like somebody causing a traffic jam. It's kind of like somebody 3D printing a ton of cars and then just like teleporting them immediately onto the highway, like off and on, like back and forth. So time to ping, time to wait, hold on, time to plug in a traffic jam GIF. Wow, yeah, it's weird. Drop my mouse. Fucking mouse. So DDoS attacks aren't uncommon, but this is the first time somebody has taken Buzzsprout offline like like this in over 11 years in business. The good news is that they can only take down the site. Your podcast data and personal information have not been accessed or compromised. The attacker has attempted to extort Buzzsprout by promising to end the attack if we pay them money. I like this. I like this. I like this is like I like when they do this in the movies. It backfires. Spoiler alert. In Red Dragon. You remember this? They do that in Red Dragon. And I think they did something like it kind of worked in the Richard Ramirez thing. Again, spoiler alert. I mean, that's the news, but there was a thing where like they're like, hey, put his picture in the paper. And they're like, cool. And they're like, oh my God, that's my neighbor. I hate that guy. Anyway. uh the attacker so they extend it. So unfortunately paying them anything isn't an option because DDoS attackers often use the money to pay them to fund larger attacks. This is obviously illegal, and we've contacted federal authorities with the information and we have about the attackers and to bring them to justice. The entire Buzzsprout team is working hard to ramp up additional infrastructure. See, like that, I like this. This is a structured email. It's got all. I'm not going to get into all the details. It's a personal email for Buzzsprout people, but I like the fact that they're like, fuck y'all, nah, nice try, pal, not gonna happen. Or lady, could be a lady hacker. We don't know. You know, I like that. Time to plug in a traffic jam GIF. That's okay. See, now I'm reading. I think right here, this is a good angle right here for me to read. I'm again for some, and maybe Instagram's web page somehow got DDoS attacked as well. No, I can't. I just, for some reason, the comments, I can't read the pounding off on the. I can't read the pounding off on the computer screen, so I'm reading it from the phone directly. But it's close enough. I can get it. It's just the reading part. The reading part's still hard. So yeah, the DDoS attack. I don't know. I'm going to try again to post, but if you're trying to access any Baby Mermaid productions, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this live and you've tried to listen to any new episodes or any past episodes or anything like that, don't touch them. Don't worry about it. If you downloaded them, don't move them. Don't move them. They'll be back because, like I said, audio only versions of the show. If you download them, I only keep one episode up, the most recent episode. So once this episode's done and I get finished, I do all the stuff, and I take it down. I put it up on Buzzsprout if they're up, and you can listen to this anytime. Just download it to your phone, because that way when I take down this episode and I put up another one, it's going to be right there waiting for you. So you can just save them on there if you don't catch them. If you like to listen to the show rather than watch the show, you still have that option, and you can still bank them. Don't worry, you can still bank them. Just download them. So if you're listening, if you're pounding off live on Instagram, make sure you check that out. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, make sure you check that out as well. So excuse me, we watched a movie. So last night we did What About with Pat and Andy. I'm Pat, that's Andy, and that's not Pat. Actually, it's supposed to be That's Not Pat, I'm Not Andy. And we were talking about we have gone over our top 5 pop punk songs, our top 5 metal songs, and we've gone over various different albums of your core and ska alike, whether it be core, hardcore, punk, pop punk, whatever it may be. And this one, I think it was my idea. We chose Britney Spears. We didn't actually choose anything for the next show, but we were already listening to an album that I chose from before. We talked about the Britney Spears documentary. And yeah, we did about an hour and a half show. It was very surprising that it was so many personal stories to it. What's up, Ron? How's it going? Original Ron's in the chat. We are talking about like our personal experience with like that celebrity kind of culture thing. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of, it's still much like the episode. What About with Pat and Andy is just basically what's your personal experience with this. And with the Britney Spears thing, I shared obviously some of my feelings here on GDP. I share still kind of the same feelings, but we go into more of like the weird, like nobody's willing to accept responsibility for like their actions. Like the most popular thing, like the right side of history and how that changes. So like the right side of history back then was technically uh you know Britney Spears is the worst and she should be shamed for all of her terrible actions. And now the right side of history uh is leave Britney alone and let's save her. We gotta help her. But either way, you're just getting too much into her business. So I think that was kind of overall. But if you want to check out that show, it's great. Audio only versions of that as well are available. Are available as well. Jesus Christ! Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, those come out on your audio platforms, Spotify, your iTunes, anywhere you get your podcast. What About with Pat and Andy? You can check out those. We're releasing those. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. Hold on a second. Let me get some seltzer in me. I got a soft seltzer over here. No alcohol. But audio only versions of the show that we've already done or we've already streamed, those are being released until we catch up, and then those will be released weekly with the show. So if you check those out, but that documentary, that topic, all of that reminded me of, and I don't know if Dom picked this movie because it also, like, she's also in that kind of frame of mind, or if she if it's just a movie that she watches, again, we've established this, everything, anything and everything. She will watch an entire she will watch an entire series and then not like it and go like, oh, I didn't like that. So like I get a couple episodes in. I always give them a pilot because the pilot always sucks. We all know that. And then you give it a little bit more. But so she'll just suggest something and she'll just play the trailer. And if I like the trailer, usually I'll play it. But she knows that I don't necessarily seek out a lot of new movies. I'm usually suggestion based, and then I'll watch the trailer if I don't think the trailer looks interesting enough, you know. But if it's really after a while, I might just get up and walk away from the movie. It's really frustrating. But the movie is called I Care a Lot, and it is it's a movie basically. It's not that far from the subject of the Britney Spears controversy, in that like it's somebody that is taking advantage of someone in a kind of uh like a vulnerable state. That's what I was trying to think of. Not just like mentally, but they're it's strange. But what's going on, John? How's it going, John? Um, I feel like, hold on, let me see. I care a lot. It's I was talking about it with Andy, and yeah, so I care a lot. It came out in 2020. Okay, so it is. Hold on, there it is. Yes. Okay, so I don't know that. I didn't know any of the people except for Diane Huist and Peter Dinklage. Basically everybody else, and also Alicia Witt. I knew her from something. I can't remember what I knew her from, but it's Rosamund Pike and Eliza Gonzalez are like star and co-star of it. Peter Dinklage is in it, and when you know he's in it, when you know Peter Dinklage is in it, you know it's gonna be good, right? Come on, guys, a star. I Peter Dinklage is. I'm not even gonna. I don't want to give away too much of the plot. I gave away, I feel like, quite a bit of the plot even to Andy last night when I was explaining it to him, and I still forgot a whole other element to the story in the movie. But it's the movie's called I Care a Lot. I highly suggest. It's a very good movie, and in the whole time, like I feel like I'm like I don't know who I'm supposed to be rooting for, but it doesn't mean that I don't like the. It was I was much more enjoyable than the Denzel movie that we watched, where he was just acting exclusively. He had one big scene with Jared Leto, and then everything else he was just like, I'm not going to act with this guy. I'm going to wait till he's gone, and then I'm going to do some acting. I'll cry. I'll do this, or I'll like, oh, it's a uh, what's it called, flashback. You know what I mean? But it was total 90s drama, cop drama. If you liked those movies, there wasn't a huge twist at the end necessarily. There was like it was a cool ending. I was appreciative of the ending. I do still suggest that Denzel movie, which is The Little Things, and I also suggest this movie, I Care a Lot. But the elements that I was explaining to Andy last night, and that I'll explain just to sell the movie. If you're at all interested in the Britney situation, where she had signed over her conservatorship, I got the right pronunciation now too. The conservatorship that she signed over to her dad. This is kind of like that, but this is more victimized. And if I have any senior citizens listening for some reason, if there's any senior citizens listening, listen, this is fucking crazy. I kept calling her a bitch during the episode with Andy, because I was like, I honestly, I think even feminists at this point would call this lady a fucking bitch. So she is, her business is, she is she's basically, what'd you say? Scene, scene SIDS? Yeah, see, I don't know what that is. What's going on, Ron? But I think she's her business is where she's a guard, has like guardianship. So she is it's much, it has the ship in it, it's also all that. Senior citizens. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, that's what. Senior cities. Gotcha. Sorry, buddy. Senior cities. Maybe that's a better term. We're talking shorthand with John in the chat. If you want to join in, again, you can always join in. Instagram Live at Baby Mermaid Productions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, like we do every live. You can. It's basically calling in because I'm gonna erase that video, and then your voice will be forever preserved here on Facebook as well as YouTube. So you can pound off live with your voice, or you can chat along with John as well as on Facebook here. But senior sitsies, if you're listening, listen closely. um, this lady has like a setup with a doctor, right? Maybe a couple doctors, and she's like, "Oh, hey, so give me some of the, like, they have like terms for it and shit. Like, I know this shit has to be real somehow. Like, this is not all made up. This has to be fucking real somehow." Um, and yeah, you like how Pat's just now realizing this is a genuine Pat's here. Pat's just realizing, like, dude, like, there's no way they're making up the fact that they're taking advantage of senior citizens. This probably really happens. This is from the guy from Florida who used to go in and out of nursing homes. So, like, duh. But none of this shit. I did not see any of this shit. If I would have noticed any of this shit going on, I would have lost my fucking mind. This is crazy. They have a setup with a doctor where um, they say, like, what's a good one? And they say, like, oh, this one is showing signs of dementia, or they're showing this. And they, like, where they can legally, they know, like, they can write it up to where it's convincing, and they can show medical evidence that this person is unfit to take care of themselves. If they don't have anybody, like, that can, like, fight for them or take responsibility for them. Ward of the, is that it? Ward of the state? Maybe that's it. I'm trying to think of, like, essentially where you're saying, like, okay, fine, I'll handle all of their assets. I will take care of them, make sure that I will make all of their medical decisions, every decision, like, even if they can use the phone or not, if they can see their own family, shit like that, like terrible shit like that. And uh and I was like, and she does that, sells all of their assets, pays herself with that, as well as, like, essentially just uses them as, like, just bleeds them dry. Like, it's fucking crazy. So that's just only, it's guardianship. Okay. Yeah, guardianship. Thanks, Karen. Karen's pounding off in the chat. Again, pound off in the chat. IG Live, Baby Mermaid Productions. Check it out. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. It's she is in court, and the doctor's like, yeah, I mean, Mrs. Johnson's sick, and she's can't do that, and she doesn't have anybody that can. So I don't know. I think it's something like that. If you can't take, like, I can fully take responsibility for this person, then yeah, it has to be, you know, um, and and then she just, like, has them all up on the wall and, like, keeps track of, like, how much money. Like, it's fucking crazy that, like, and that she can just, like, that's just her business. Like, that's it. So, um, and there, and that's not even giving away the plot of the movie. That's simply just giving away what her job is in the movie. And that already kind of makes you feel like, man. And don't then immediately you're like, fuck that bitch. Ugh, what an asshole. She goes to court. She has the arrangement with the doctor already. And like, she'll be in court, and then the judge will be like, well, we need a guardian for Mr. Bitch. Yeah, asshole. You fucking dickhead motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's like, I don't know. But it is it's a very interesting movie. I think you should check it out. Can't remember if it's on HBO or Netflix, but it's on one of those. Just check it out. I care a lot, because that was a movie where I was like, damn, I was definitely engaged in that movie. I hated the I hated that lady, but I thought it's like she was a fucking excellent. She's vaping the whole time too. Like, she's got this one of those. Oh, it's on Netflix. Have you seen it, John? It's like she's like got this big one of those big dumb robot vapes And she's like vape. Oh, she's such a douchebag. But like, she's not like the lady. Like the lady actress, like she's a great villain. She's a very convincing douchebag. Like it was really excellent, excellently done. I feel like it was a good movie. Not I don't know if I would say fun. It's always weird when I see a movie. There was a movie that I always thought was weird that how they described. Oh, it was Gone. No, yeah, Gone Girl yeah, Gone Girls. Isn't that with Ben Affleck? Ben Affleck. It's it's like about an abduction, right? Like the lady goes missing or something, and they kept saying like, "This is a sexy movie. Check out this sexy, fun movie." All and it's like, and I'm sure I'm sure if I read the book or if I fucking watched, I'm sure it was something fun about it. But it's like, isn't this? Are you trying to sell this as a movie about a murder? And like, doesn't that kind of isn't that kind of a spoiler if you're saying that it's fun, but the preview is just about this lady missing? Like it's this sexy fun romp, not a romp. They didn't say romp. Sorry, sexy fun thriller. They said sexy fun thriller, and it's like, really? The one about the lady who goes like the she could be she's like murdered. I feel like it kind of, but maybe because the book was so popular, that's why. We got some pounding off here. Wife watched it and explained the whole thing to me, so I kind of saw it. Yeah, I understand that. She's in Gone. Oh, she's in Gone Girl too. Holy shit! She's in two sexy fun romps. The lady tricks her husband into thinking she's. Come on, spoiler alert! You got to put the spoiler at the. I mean, I'm not gonna watch it. You know, it doesn't matter. I have fun, Casey. She's the Gone Girl. Okay, she's so the lady in the dickhead that I hate in this movie, the vapor. She's in. By the way, did your wife explain that she vapes? I feel like every time I've explained this movie, I always mention the fact that she's vaping the whole time, but they make it very obvious. Like they like even show a close up of her vape a couple times. It's weird. It's weird how they like it's almost like they're saying like if this was 10 or 20 years, if this was 10 years ago, no. When didn't they make that a law where you can't have smoking in movies or something anymore? Or if you do have smoking, you have to like say it's bad. Nah. No vape emphasis. Interesting. It just strikes me as a douche move. It's a very subtle thing. So is she very good in Gone Girl? Is Gone Girl? I feel like I might have seen I might have seen it Gone Girl actually, which I feel bad about. I'm gonna have to check with Dom. I may have seen Gone Girl, but I have no idea. I didn't even know that she was Gone Girl. I didn't know that. I do remember there being a weird twist where I was like, I think you're ruining it by saying it's fun, but also in like trying to make it look like a very serious thriller or something that is like has very serious consequences. Yeah, she plays the role very well. Huh. Okay, so yeah, interesting. I like this. Hold on. Her name was. I got it. I had it. Ouch. Shoulder hurts a little. I care a lot. That's it. I care a lot is also a place, medieval place. Her girlfriend, by the way, yowza. She has she's also a lesbian. I thought it was a very like a lot of the dickheads in this movie were ladies, and a lot of the men were being taken advantage of. It was cool. Like it was like a progressive thing where like it wasn't like it wasn't it was just like subtle things of like, oh, she's a lesbian. That's interesting. Yeah, vape deck. She was a Rosamund Pike. What's her name? Rosamund. I know I'm saying that wrong, but she plays Marla Grayson, and then Isa Isa Gonzalez played Fran. They didn't even give her a last name. By the way, not Fran Grayson, living in sin. That's still sin. Not because you're lesbians, but because you're not married. Also, Diane Huist. is the lady that we all know from everything. She's in everything. She's the mom oftentimes in every movie. Diane Weist, and then Peter Dinklage. That little guy's so cool. Like it was really cool. This was so she's got a lane. She definitely has a lane in acting. I had no idea that she was I mean, not that I'm like, who's this unknown? I just know that I don't know movies that well. So I didn't know how popular she was, but Gone Girl was a big book, I know, and a big movie. It was fun. I remember they explained how sexy and fun it was. It was the fact that they said sexy, and I think that they were implying that there was an assault of a sexual form in the movie. I feel like that was like in the preview, and I was like, why are you trying to make it serious? And then you're saying this is so much fun. Like, you sick sociopathic fucks. Um, but I do highly suggest do that if you're snowed in today. I don't know if anybody who I honestly we don't know. I feel like anymore. I haven't heard I haven't heard any kind of news about what Biden's been doing. I don't know if we're getting more stimulus or anything like that. If anybody has any news on that, please let me know. But looking for another big chunk of money because it would just be nice. Uh, I I've noticed that we've had a lot of snow and a lot of, like we talked about in the last episode. Oh yeah, shout out to Derek Lewis, by the way. Speaking of Texas, it was a very funny joke, very lighthearted. I liked it. A lot of levity in the over the weekend. The UFC Vegas. It was Derek Lewis against Curtis Blades in the main event. Two heavyweights. Great fight. I love Derek Lewis is one of my all time favorite fighters. I love watching him fight. I like his interview. He's very. He's again. He's like the total package thing of like, very funny, uh, great social presence kind of thing. Like he's figured out like how like I don't want to be like a person that sounds like a like I know like I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about. In my opinion, I feel like that like in a Conor McGregor thing, like not that he taught them how to do it, he just showed them how to do it. He didn't figure it out necessarily. He was just somebody who was able to implement a plan perfectly. And it's very impressive. And he's an excellent martial artist. And I feel like that's oftentimes lost in the fact that he's also uh, a notorious dickhead in a lot of cases, whether it be public uh, assaults in some cases, but also he's a fucking cage fighter. Like, I don't understand. He in the sense of that, like even in the sense of like being a person who not that he like you get punched in the head, you do this, you gotta, but also there's that, and also you have to be good on camera and talk well if you want to be like as successful as he is. You have to be like Kevin Hart, and also like you have to be Kevin Hart and also like Rocky. You have to be like somebody who's willing to give your entire life, but also like be poignant and insightful, or really just not be a dickhead. Don't assault people, don't assault women, don't assault men, any age, any sex, anything. Don't assault people. Don't do it. But again, if there's whatever, I I don't want to be a person like, but I feel like I think that's a thing where like they realize all you have to do is like there's like a spectrum for that, just like a lot of other things. You can be somebody who is like, so Derek Lewis is somebody, and this is funny too because I know Joe Rogan helped a lot too. One of the first times I think I saw one of Derek Lewis's fights live, Joe Rogan introduced him, and every time he brought him up, he talked about how awesome his Instagram was, and how highly he suggests not every time, not like during the fight, but like during the entrance, like saying like, "Hey guys, by the way, this fight coming up, Derek Lewis, you should check his Instagram out too." So that had to help, a bunch of people checking that out. But it really is entertaining, uh, because he shares a lot of very interesting clips, kind of like a World Star esque style clips, but he always just has the caption of either he or she is okay. Because like you can't obviously show people dying, and if you don't specify if they're okay or not, people may uh, report it. I think that's probably something he's learned. So much so that's actually become merch. What's up, Cupcake? Charles is in the chat. What's going on, Cupcake? Talking about Derek Lewis fucking knocking the fuck out of Curtis Blades over the weekend. Very impressive. Like he had a fucking, he was. It's so interesting because I get, it's I think even admittedly, like I don't know if it's him just shooting off at the mouth or if he's like telling the truth. And I think that's the thing is nobody really knows. But like they'll ask him like, so how was the training? He's like, oh, I didn't train. And then one time you'll see him and he'll like look great. Like he'll look like fit, like, for heavy and for heavyweight, but like he'll look good, he'll look fast, he'll like be like throwing kicks and shit like that. And then other times he's just kind of like he just looks listful. He feigns injuries a lot of times. He feigns being hurt to like draw people in a lot of times. He's got some of the best fun fighting techniques that I think is just it is so much of his personality in the ring. And like Jorge Masvidal, like it's fun to watch him fight. But it's nerve-wracking because I don't know if he's telling or not. But the Black Beast fucking like it was he knew he's fighting a wrestler. He knew he's fighting a younger guy. And I don't know. I just thought it was a fucking great. It's a great. I'm sure you've seen it on Instagram by now. It's a free event anyway, so you just have if you have ESPN Plus or ESPN, I think you can just watch it. But he's a person that he said afterwards. They said, do you have any messages for Texas because he's a Houston guy. He lives in Houston. He's a big Texas dude. Loves Texas. From Texas. Yada yada. And so he he said, yeah, he's like, I know it's been cold there for the past week. That's because my balls was hot and I was out of town for a week. But next week I'm going to be back in town, and it's looking like it's going to be in the 70s. So he's bringing his hot ass balls back to Texas to save the day. Unlike Ted Cruz, he didn't run away to get away from the cold. He ran away to fight in a cage. And I don't think ran away really at all because he's not a politician. But I thought that was really funny because he's not necessarily a mushy dude. Also called out somebody who didn't ask for a title shot necessarily, but called out Alistair Overeem. So after he knocked the fuck out of Curtis Blades, who I don't know if he beat Overeem or not. I'm pretty sure he probably did, but he was on a couple fight win streak. Derek Lewis is now on a couple fight win streak, 4 I think fight win streak. And instead of being like, oh, yeah, I want to fight Ngannou or what, he actually said John Jones or Izzy, Israel Adesanya, which would be crazy if there's no way he's going up to heavyweight. But he is tied for, I think, the most knockouts in heavyweight, UFC heavyweight history. So that's very exciting as well. Black Beast, Derek Lewis, getting it done, but also one of many people who there's other people that made the whole personality thing, but did it in a weird kind of dumb way, in my opinion. We'll see how it plays out in the long run. But Henry Cejudo, check out if you want to check out. Now he does call himself the king of cringe, but I feel like I don't know if that counts. I don't know if you can just say that you're like you'd be like, oh yeah, isn't this off? Like you're doing it, you're putting it out, you're editing the videos. Well, he's probably not. He's probably got a guy or a girl. And then also Colby Covington, who, by the way, I shared this with Kirk. Kirk is still he's I think this is going to be the last week of his taking a break from social media, but I had to share with him today. And they had to know what they were doing, but they posted a picture of Colby Covington on the UFC Instagram. That's where I saw it. I'm sure they did it on their other socials too. But there was a there was a thing that said, fuck, it was, oh yeah, wish Colby Covington a happy birthday. They do that a lot of times with their contracted fighters, some more popular fighters and stuff. They'll like, it's his birthday, say happy birthday to him. And I just read the comments. The first couple, handful, maybe more comments were just no, we're okay. Like they know enough not to curse or to say fuck Colby Covington or anything like that, but they're just like, no, we won't help you. It's it's hatred on the internet, which I'm usually not a huge fan of, but like for that guy, the persona he puts out there is out of there. I would love to see him fight Michael Chiesa. I don't know if he's going to or not, but that would be a really interesting fight as well. But I think there's just Conor McGregor just kind of like he just showed them like, no, we can do it too. Like the champ thing. There is champs in 2 weight classes before. People have done that in the UFC before him, but it's not at the same time. That was the thing that he started like, yeah, we can do that too. So it wasn't things that he necessarily invented. He just or perfected or anything. He just implemented. These are plans, and you see if you train and you have those things. Again, with Derek Lewis, we don't know for sure if how he everything with him is like playing possum. It's great. So you don't know how much effort he actually put into any of the thing. I mean, you assume with the fact that how incredible, or he's just naturally incredibly powerful. But it's a great fight. It's only a couple rounds. You can check it out on Instagram, I'm sure, or on ESPN. But Derek Lewis killing it and bringing his hot balls back to Texas to save the day. So you know what? Maybe vote for Derek Lewis instead of Ted Cruz, and then all your problems will be solved. If you had more politicians that are cage fighters, I think that's it. Charles is saying that he has slave strength. Is that what it is? Is that basically just natural ability for people of maybe the African American descent? Is that it, Charles? He's fucking strong, powerful motherfucker, dude. And he's funny, and yes, I will double what Joe Rogan says. I will add to what Joe Rogan says. Not only is it funny on Instagram, but also I think he's got pretty cool merch too. Off the cuff, there's no way he plans that shit. He's just a cool. He would be one of the coolest hangs. Jorge Masvidal, I feel like I would be just so intimidated and just I would know how uncool I am. I mean, he knows how uncool I am. I know how uncool I am right now. I don't need to see the comparison. I don't think he would. I see him even with like Jake Paul, and he's like, oh, okay. And like, not saying Jake Paul is so cool, you need to hang out with him. I'm just saying that like he's a huge celebrity cage fighter. He doesn't need me. But like I was saying, I think if we elected cage fighters, and if you ever talk shit or you start doing this shit like the Ted Cruz stuff or something like that, another senator or somebody should be able to challenge them to a fight. I would like to see that implemented even right now in the current state, not as professional fighters and just see 2 dummies fight. But a lot of times, I don't know if you've seen, I'm not super into, I like sanctioned violence. I like where both people have not only consented but also prepared somewhat, and also so like the barstool stuff that I've heard about, the what's it called, Rough and Rowdy and stuff like that. I'm not really super interested in World Star like fight, because you know what, you can just bounce your, like if you bounce your head off. Again, Derek Lewis fucked up Curtis Blades this weekend, gave him a couple big shots when he was already way out, bounced his head off the mat a couple times. So I think that's like that's it's still an issue. It's still so the ruling part of it's going to be bad. Now I'm starting to walk back this politician thing. Then I'm like, oh yeah, they get their head knocked around a lot. I don't know if that's great for. We definitely don't need a president that way, but state to state, I think it's a better idea. But if you see an untrained person fighting and they like, again, in jujitsu, they teach you how to fall. Like if you even just take judo or jujitsu classes, at some point in your training, they're going to teach you how to fall to where you're not going to hurt your arm too bad, your back too bad, or anything like that.
you're going to fall flat and be more stable, essentially. So even falling correctly, but if you're knocked out, you can't even do that. You don't have any muscle memory. Your memory is offline. So if somebody jars your head enough and you hit the concrete, that stuff makes me cringe a lot more. When I see, I mean, even there was another really crazy knockout with Frankie Edgar recently against Corey Sandhagen, and a flying knee. You like the Jorge Masvidal knockout, which was again very scary in the moment, very entertaining, but very scary in the moment to see somebody go that stiff and then still take two more shots. But again, they were hashtag super necessary. Um, the Corey Sandhagen one is a flying knee, and with I think he was shooting for a takedown, got a flying knee, and you see that, and he goes stiff, no extra shots, but still his head hits the ground. Like that stuff is scary enough in a ring. I truly am not entertained when I see it outside of the ring. I know it's fun for people. I don't like seeing. I just saw a buddy of mine sent me a clip of two football players. I don't know how recent the clip is. Hold on, I got it right here. I'll see if I can. I mean, the clip is from Reddit, so it could be it could be from whenever. Uh, the post is from 23 hours ago, but University of Oklahoma football players pick fight with career wrestlers. Which one do you think, or which one do you want? Which one would you think would win? And wrestlers, not wrestlers in the sense of a pro wrestling like WWE or anything, like wrestlers, collegiate collegiate wrestlers, maybe national uh, uh, award winning. Who knows? Wrestlers, fucking. If they say career wrestlers, they're either instructors or they're qualified wrestlers. I don't know. I uh I think there's it doesn't. By the way, I'm not going to spoil it, but like the reason the video exists, I think is pretty self-explanatory. If you think that the if you think the football players are going to win, you're probably not familiar with. And like, look, it's very simple. I'm not somebody for, even though I am somebody that is a fan of fighting. Again, sanctioned fighting. Oh, hey, what's up, Manny? Or if I'm somebody who is interested in whether it be sanctioned fighting, but also somebody who trains in a martial art, I don't necessarily want to fight, but like I definitely know if I'm in a situation. Now they were drunk, it's in a bar, I'm sure, it's actually looks like in the bathroom, which is really gross that they end up on the ground, which is yucky, but uh hey, it's a fight. They're picking a fight with him in the bathroom, and like just look at their ear, dude. A lot of time, if they're a career wrestler, most likely, even with headgear, there's still going to be quite a bit of cauliflower ear. If it's jujitsu, same thing. I don't have it yet, thank God. Maybe I never will be. Maybe I'll never be good enough to actually get it. Who knows? But I'm definitely not somebody who would go out seeking a fight like this. But if I fought, this most likely is how it would probably go down. I don't even know if I would feel confident throwing a punch. Now, eventually, I am planning on taking striking classes and stuff like that. But again, I don't, not so I can get into a fight, so I can avoid a fight. That's why I want to learn how to choke somebody out so I can leave. I can just leave them there and go away. So it's a fight that, if you're wondering which way it goes, it's very obvious just in its existence, but also in the fact that there were two people that had cauliflower ear. You with a football player, they have that one particular set of skills. It's like Taken, but they only one particular set. Like you could run fast, you're strong, and you can do the thing that you do on your team very well. Maybe a couple of different things. You're an athlete, yes, but we learned from Nate Robinson that just because you're an athlete doesn't mean you're an athlete in whatever sport you play. You're just an athlete. So it's a very entertaining fight, but it's also like after a while you're like, I don't know. I think, and then also I didn't realize. I don't think the first time I watched, but I did come to the realization. I think the wrestlers were drunk too because it's a bar. They're all in the bar. I also don't know where or when the video was taken, but if this is right now in current COVID times, come on, come on, what are you doing? But yeah, very interesting. So don't fuck with somebody with cauliflower ear because if you think you can beat them, there's a very there's a meme that I've seen. I was gonna say very popular, but it's probably only in like my feed and like other people's that with similar interests. It's popular in my personal feed. See it all the time. It's Ryan Hall, who is a uh, excellent. He is known. He has been explained to me, and from what I've seen of all reports, he has the best MMA, jujitsu, most effective, and also is is like a fucking killer in MMA, but he looks like a complete fucking dork. There's a meme. I'm sure I'll share it. I think I have actually, but there's of this big fucking strong crazy jack dude and Ryan Hall who looks like he's like this and he's kind of like he kind of looks like a weird like a it looks like he's making like a weird like monkey face like his ears again he has cauliflower ears big fucking they stick out like this and then they and he's just kind of like he's got his little UFC gloves on, but he's a killer, and he'll like rip your leg off. And the meme says, uh, like any taking bets on or which one do you think you would leave having to use crutches or something like that? What altercation do you think? Which one of these would you think? Ah, God damn it! I hope I saved it because the wording is perfect. Let me see if I saved it. Hang in there. I love Instagram. Instagram is a really good social media, right, guys? It's very effective. Very little opinions. Let me look him up. Actually, I was surprised it actually didn't just show up. Ryan Hall. By the way, Ryan Hall 5050 on Instagram. Great follow. Another guy that totally gets it. Very self-deprecating. This is his classic pose that I was talking about. Love it. Kind of looks like Dan Soder. Like not maybe like MMA's Dan Soder, right? He gets it. He's a good guy. And that's a Getty image. I would love to be a Getty image one day. Is there a way that you can like submit or is like Getty like a photographer? Does he have to take your picture or she? Ryan Hall. Maybe it's a tag. Ryan Hall. Let me see that. 4.5 thousand. Wow, very surprising. Maybe people don't want him to get the credit for that. I don't think he made it, but he's somebody that is fuck. Of course, I'm not going to find it now. But he does. I mean, like, it's really interesting because you like, who else is like that? Fuck. He kind of looks like Ben Askren, but he's a lot Clay Hooper. I think his name is. Oh, okay. John knows Mr. Getty. Okay, sweet. John's going to introduce me to Mr. Getty. That's interesting. I didn't know. Again, so now confirmed, Mr. Getty. I'm going to look up Ryan Hall meme. It's got to be there. He kind of, and I'm glad that he's obviously done work on that pose because he doesn't want to look like that. Remember the kid that was protesting and then the Native American protesters like got in his face or whatever. You don't want to make that face. You want to make the like face, but he's got to. I like the that's me. Like, oh, yeah, sorry guys. I'm really surprised that this isn't in the. It was because I said I feel like every once in a while, the same way that your phone will listen to you and say, and like go like, oh yeah, here's some suggestions based on what we've listened to you. But every once in a while they listen to you and they go want to make you look bad because obviously I wanted to have this. All right, so yeah, I guess this will work. Says one is a dangerous killer who can rip you apart with his bare hands. The other is some juice head. So it's that, you know what I mean? Like, but that's still, again, it's still too good of a picture. He still looks too tough. Again, you can't see it on Instagram, but if I'm sure if you find out, Ryan Hall was somebody that my buddy Pat put me on, that is like, because I'm one of the people that when I started watching MMA, and obviously before I started training jujitsu, was like when that hit the ground, I was like, this is the boring part. But like learning how fucking hard it is to control somebody on the ground, even when they're not trained. Like if you're not trained, also, it's like then it's they call it there's terms in jujitsu that I love, and for different reasons. But like knee on belly is so fun because you have adults saying the word belly. It's just knee on belly. And it's so self-explanatory that it's literally like that's what the move is. It's where you hold somebody, you have a grip here and a grip here, and you lay your knee across their gut, and you like kind of like that, you put all your pressure on that and you pull them up, kind of thing. Like it's supposed to be very uncomfortable for them, to make them want to move, so they either give up their back or mount or something like that. It's a transition move, but a lot of times I just lay there because my belly can take it. My belly's been through a lot. I got a lot of belly too. So less belly, true, than when I started. But I once you realize like how that stuff works, and I honestly did not mean to come off as such a fucking fucking stuck up piece of shit about it, but like literally it's very self-explanatory. Also, I feel like it's very rudimentary. If you're interested in something, you're going to like to watch it more. But I didn't realize how not boring it would become. Like it's a complete 180 from where I was. Like now I do enjoy the fights, but I get anxious, like, because I know, like if your head bounces off the mat and like when somebody's punching the fuck out of it, it's bad for your brain. Like I don't want to see that for even people I don't like necessarily. But sometimes it is fun to watch something like two fucking dudes that are skilled at different things. Like somebody like Usman and like Covington, where they're both fucking incredible wrestlers, but they never even wrestle. They just punch the shit out of each other. He breaks his fucking jaw. That's a good fight too. That's, I think, a free one that's on like YouTube and stuff. You can check out Colby Covington against fucking Kamaru Usman. Fucking great fight. But it's another one where like I never I became more of a boxing fan after I became more of a jiu-jitsu fan, because I was already a fan of striking anyway, but now seeing shit like that is fucking nuts. It's seeing the things that they're actually talking about, where it's not just like entertaining anymore. It's actually teaching you like, oh shit, like fucking, that's why they do all the things they do. That's all the movements they're doing. It's interesting. And I know Kirk Griffiths, again, a fellow podcaster, co-host of Proper Robotics. He's another person that is watching watching a lot of the UFC, playing a lot of the UFC video games and stuff. That's how he's kind of being brought into it. And he's another person that in his living room, I think during quarantine, he's been doing like a stance moves and like sparring and shadow boxing and shit like that. Like it's something that like we're both really drawn to in that sense. And it's become a real cool, like it's cool that like I've been a fan of it for like 15 years, but to actually start like seeing, and again, not at all thinking that I can do what they're doing, but I've literally done some of the things that they're doing. And it's just like it's how I think people that played high school football or baseball feel watching the majors, because it's like, oh fuck, I like Kimuras too. He's going for a Kimura. You guys know what a Kimura is? How about an Americana? Look at that. It's the other way. It's more of a shoulder lock, actually. Here, let me show you. Stuff like that. I'm that guy now. But I never had a sport like that. Hockey, I'm a huge fan of, but I've never like played some like roller hockey, but again, I picked the one position you didn't need skates. Apparently, there's a weird thing. I actually looked up the rule, which is also not a good sign for when you're starting a sport. Looking for the rules to say that you can exclude yourself from certain things that you need. Roller hockey in Florida, I played a couple months. I don't even know actually how long it was, but I was something I was really interested in, really motivated to do, but it was just too much work to get to the place to you needed to rely on so many other people. So if you don't get enough people that turn out, you don't have enough hockey fans in Florida, which there is more of now, I'll admit, but at the time there were not, I don't feel like enough. And a lot of them were transplants. So a lot of them would rather play ice hockey, but roller hockey is a little bit more accessible for them. But I actually looked up. It was like and honestly, this may not even. I just found. I basically the best way I've ever heard it is the way that Bill Burr puts it. I went to provemypoint.com and it said, oh yeah, the goalie does not necessarily have to wear skates in roller hockey. And I also hockey. The goalie is my favorite position in hockey. You get to play the most minutes, and in even in roller hockey where you would like switch, like if there was more goalies there, which is really interesting too. They were really excited to hear that I wanted to play goal, but I think they were kind of bummed out when they found out I didn't really have any experience playing. Um, but I played for a little bit. I felt like I was holding them back a little bit more. Jiu-jitsu is a lot more accepting in the sense that you can start at any time and everybody will be, if it's a cool enough school or it's a good enough school, uh you'll roll with people, or at least you'll have one or two people that will like show you a thing or be like, hey, like because when I started, I literally asked, how do I start? And somebody was like, oh, you're just like this. They'll just do it. With hockey, they're going to be like, what? How did you get here? How did you get all this stuff? Like, you don't know what to do? Play hockey. Like, so you're expected to know, but in jujitsu, that's very, it's very self-explanatory. You put on the belt and they can go, oh yeah, you don't know anything. Or at least that in jujitsu, you are considered a novice or a whatever belt you may be. But it's pretty obvious if you're into a thing, you're gonna. But I don't. I shout out to John and the host of Hacks Comedy Golf on Instagram, or Hacks Comedy Golf on YouTube. You can check out some episodes either place. There is I should change the playlist to Hacks Comedy Golf. But John is somebody who has gotten me more into golf. I still don't give a fuck about watching golf though, but I like playing it more. So that's an interesting thing too. It's like the reverse of hockey, where I love playing or love watching hockey, but I really have I, I don't even know how much of a desire I necessarily have to skate. I would like to try ice skating at some point in my life, but I did want to get to a point where I wasn't technically medically obese before I tried it, because I don't want to put too much, you don't want to put too much on those ankles. I was a lot more. Then I'm going to put them on razor blades and stuff. But I have not ice skated ever before. Never even been on it. So if I would like to give that a shot. I don't like. I'm not jumping into it. It's the same thing with pornography. I actually had a bit about that for a while. I tried to make that work, where it's much like pornography. I like watching it, but nobody wants to see me out there on the ice. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to see me in the sheets. But I'm a fan of like going to the driving range. I'm a fan of playing. Like, we usually play about a half a round for hacks. And it's just fun. Like, I really do truly love playing golf. I miss playing golf. When I hurt my shoulder, I was upset because I wouldn't be able to do jujitsu. But I was also upset, like, because I was like, man, I hope this doesn't fuck up me playing golf. I don't know which one is the important one. I think it is the one. This one? I don't know. Maybe I have to play lefty. It's not like we haven't done it before. But I don't want to. My voice is getting dry. Hold on a second. No drink drops today. Fuck it. I just I just want it to be like more. It would be cool if it was more consistent, or like if you had. But that's what your interests are. Like I don't know. Like I also I don't know how motivated I would be in playing a whole game of. I definitely am not motivated in playing a whole game of football. I don't think I care enough to play a whole game of football. Like, but throwing around a football, or playing like yeah, just playing like catch or something like that. Like, yeah, I'm cool with that. I like throwing around football. I know at least enough maybe to throw a football. Okay. Same thing with baseball. I think I would be a little bit more motivated to play baseball. Excuse me, but only because there's more breaks. But also nothing to. I used to be, when I was actually in little league, I wanted to play the more important parts, but never really felt that confident about doing it. I wanted to be either a pitcher or catcher. Hey, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't skilled at that. Then I was like, well, I want to play third base, because third base was like right in there, right in the action. I liked it. The hot corner, right? Isn't that what it is? But even then, even now, I don't know if I can. I'm not that interested in it. Like I now I would be able to focus more, because I would probably like hit a vape pen or something like that. I'd probably just, I wouldn't be a great third baseman. Also, I'd be nervous about like the ball hitting me in the face or something. I don't like that. I don't want that to happen. Can I get the catcher's face mask for third base as well? And the chest protector. I got a very valuable chest. It holds my heart. So I would like it if, I mean, but I also don't like watching baseball. I don't. There's really not a lot about baseball, but I'll throw that around. I it's interesting to find the thing that I really love so much later in life, but also I'm glad that it's still accessible, because imagine if I really found out that I loved playing baseball right now. That would suck. If like because I tried doing that too. For a while, I think there was some talk, at least with some of the open micers around the Harrisburg area, for years ago, of like trying to get like a an actual league together, because I jokingly, not even jokingly, I literally referred to a lot of comics that I encountered, at least at the open mics, as like bowlers and stuff, because it just seemed to be their social circle, their thing of hanging out or whatever. What's going on, Ian? But I was like, but you know what? I kind of want to put together like a team. Like I do want to have like a softball or a bowling team or something. And but then that quickly, like I was like, no, that was the thing with bands. A lot of times I feel like I came up with, and a lot of times with maybe that was the thing with the team sports that I wasn't very interested in, is it didn't involve enough me. Maybe and I'm not skilled enough or interested enough in baseball or football to be intricate enough part to keep me interested. So I end up being more one-on-one things, that even though you have a team element, like your Cobra Kais, you got your dojos or whatever, you go against each other, but it's more individual. It's still when the actual thing goes on, unless, again, spoiler alert, if you're in a high school riot at the end of it, or you're in the dojo, you're supposed to be like just one-on-one. You have your coach, shouting orders at you and everything, your sensei, but it's you against the other person. Today I was able to I got a little bit of training in today. That was really cool. And I was able to succeed in ways that I hadn't before in patience. And that was a big move, and that was something that I will absolutely contribute to chess, was not panicking, not always having to sacrifice something to get something, and patience, just overall patience. So I'm a huge fan of the art form jujitsu, and I feel, oh man, it's, except for saying it, the art of jujitsu. But and I do suggest that if anybody ever, if you're interested, if you're If you think you want to try it, try it. You're going to like it. Also, may I suggest something that I I don't know if I've poo-pooed in the past. I don't think I've ever actually openly judged, and I haven't necessarily judged, but I think at the time it was it was something that at least hearing about it made me think that sounds strange. But maybe it's been conversations through GDP Live, whether it be with original Ron, premium Ron, any of our Rons, Johns, or Ians. But uh, I gotta tell you, I was cruising some pornography. You know, I was just shopping around to see. At this point, I really was just kind of like just just sliding through, just going like, I don't know, that's not really. And then I saw a thing that was like a how-to video. It was a how-to video, and then it was like now I'm gonna sample this. It was how to make your own like sex toy, your own fleshlight, essentially. I don't think they used the word fleshlight, but I didn't save the clip or anything because again, it's very self-explanatory, and I can do this. I can explain it in a lot more simpler of a way because, especially if you're bored in quarantine, it can't all be just family-friendly crafts. Sometimes you gotta think outside the box, and you have to, and not because I think that's where the judgment came in originally years ago, was the fact that I was thinking of like, why would you make it? That's so lonely. It's not. If you really think about it, it's more of a situation where you're like, I've never bought one, and I would never. I don't know if I would ever. I can't even say if I would or not, but I've discussed how weird it is to just buy a vagina, to buy a something that was perfectly like a perfectly like formed like vagina solo. You get like a or just a hand or just a anything, whatever. Step step one, get a flashlight. Step two, cram something. Oh, get a flashlight. Get cram something in it, uh, skin like, and to the flashlight. Step three, fuck it. Okay, well there you go. Make it make a fist. Put your penis inside your in the fist. Rigorously stroke your hand and thrust your hips. Okay, so we're honestly, I know he's probably just going along with John's joke, but I think Ian just totally confessed on how he jerks off a vagina that hugs you back. Exactly. I think it's not about the the act of like not of whether or not you're getting real life vagina. That's not the matter of it, but it's the matter of curiosity is going to get you no matter what. So if you're somebody who doesn't have like I don't even know how much actually, hold on. So this is for the show. I don't know if I should. I'm going to just look this up. God damn it. Fleshlight just price. No. Oh, there's a build your own. Oh, that's probably not that. Hold on. I'm going to just put price next to it because I don't want to go to the website. Trying to keep this computer clean. Nope, it's not here. Shopping. There we go. $29. $15? There's no way. Fleshlight is $60. $70. There's a whole God damn, this is like a briefcase. Stamina trainer value pack in white. Okay. Jerking off is for guys who can't get laid. That's not true, Ian, you fucking dum dum. It's for people who want to come when they're not getting laid. Strong words from Ian. When you want to come and there's not like so like you've never so you're not somebody who's jerked off at work before. Like no matter what, like there's something like sometimes you don't always have the whole of choice near you, and sometimes you just it's just it needs to happen. But if you want to get some kind of sensation of a sex toy, it's very simple. It's very simple, and unfortunately, I don't know how to make. I think the at-home sex toy for ladies is like the washing machine, right, or the dryer. I've jerked off at work. You can't get laid in the moment. Yeah, yeah, but shut up, Ian. It's for people who have stuff they need to get done. But boner is in the way. Exactly. Thank you, John. John understands. Sometimes your boner's in the way. So very simple. If you have sponges, again, the guy made the thing and then fucked it. I was like, I was watching the video and I was like, why is this like 3 times as long? Because like he was getting ready to like he's like, all right, well, and then you just tape this part and you're done. And it's like, okay, so then why? Oh, then he's gonna fuck it, and then he fucks it for a long time. I skipped. I skipped to different parts, and I was just like, wow, he's just gonna fuck the whole thing because he wants to show you at the end. So it's very simple. You take 2 sponges, you put a rubber glove in the middle of the sponge, right? And then you put the other sponge on there. Then you put those two into a cup, or it's like a little tube thing, cylindrical thing, right? You stuff those in there. Then you take the glove and you wrap it around the lip of the cup, and then you tape that part down. So then it makes a little vagina. Isn't that crazy? I masturbate. Hold on. I masturbate more than anyone on the planet, and I get laid on the reg. Nice. Now he's bragging. Ian's bragging, pounding off in the comments, pounding off at home, pounding off in real life. Uh, uh, really puts the D in DIY. Oh, I get it, John, because it's dick. You get it? Penis. Talk slower. I'm taking notes. Yes, literally. Two sponges. But you take the one sponge and you lay the glove fingers down, whatever, the other part. And then you put the other sponge on top. And then you take that and then you put it in a cup. And then you take the outside of the glove and you wrap it around the lip. And then you tape that side down. And then you got a vagina. Crazy, right? Then you obviously you have to put lube or something in there. But my favorite part was the fact that I was like, ew. And then you're just gonna throw all those things away? No. You finish, you come in the glove. And that was the other thing, was he takes the glove out and he's like, see? And he holds it up to the camera like, yeah, we get it. That's where you came. You come into the glove, you see, you come in here, and then you just throw that part away and you can just make another one. Right. Five finger dick punch. That's absolutely right, Casey. Pounding off hard, just like the guy in the cup video. It took him a lot longer to fuck it than it did to make it. So I think that's a selling point that should have been the title of the video. Make your own sex toy. It's going to take longer to fuck it than it did to make it. And honestly, if you think about it, you have 5 fingers. You could probably come in at 5 times, but you don't want to risk that. That's also really gross to reuse it. You don't want to, careful taking it out of the cup. Also, the size cup matters too. I feel like I wish he would have let me know where he would have gotten his tin. Like maybe it's like a Pringles tube. I don't know what size, but if you're looking, obviously there's different tightness levels. There's different deep, depth. You need more depth in some of them. Ian's pounding off here. He says having to clean the sex toy after fucking it for the future use comes with a shame that I'm just not ready for. I'll keep jerking off. Make sure that's Ian's pounding off hard. I honestly, dude, like you don't feel shame sometimes after you have sex. You clean off your dick and you use it again, don't you? Make sure you use the yellow side of the sponge, not the green side. And I am gonna tell you, I was like, I wonder if it matters. I was like, this side seems a lot coarser, so I'm gonna try the other side. But also, I'm like, maybe I should get other sponges. I'm thinking car wash sponges would be really nice, like the really soft ones, but not a loofah. Sometimes I feel shames while I'm having sex. Well, if you're feeling, I don't know why I pluralize shames. I feel shame sometimes when I'm fucking. Uh, it's not really cleaning in this case though. You just take the glove and you throw it away, much like a condom. You know, wipe off your junk ski, probably some of your belly, depending, how messy it was, and then there you go. But then you have something to come in. It's all in there. It's in the glove. Maybe take it to work. If you work at a hospital or something like that, prank one of your coworkers. They could use a laugh right now. Put it in the glove box, but on the top, and say, "Hey, could you make sure you wear your gloves?" And they put on the cum gloves. That's gonna be fun. You're gonna have fun with that. And that's why you have to pray during sex and after sex to make sure you don't do it under the crucifix on on the way. What? Repents. Oh, because he's living in sin. See, John's a very religious guy. So he's obviously he's gonna help Ian in this time of need and try to get him back from his sinning ways. But if you're interested, it's very simple. The clip, I mean, I think it was on Pornhub or something like that, but it's really it's pretty self-explanatory. And like John said, you don't want to use the green side. Use the yellow side. I it's it was it's a thing that I don't know if it's like it's almost like it's like the equal, it's like a, not a shared, what is it, it's not a shared shame or whatever, because it's not like it was a weird thing of like, it's like I love DIY things. I love functional things. Don't worry, I put the cup right back in the cupboard. I cleaned it a little bit further, I rinsed it off. I put it in the cupboard. The Put the sponges. Actually did throw the sponges away just because I was like, you know what? I'm not reusing that setup. But to know that I have that as an option, if I ever just like but it's so much work. Like that was the part. And I think that's what Ian was speaking to earlier, which is like it's a lot of work. You can just if you want to, you can get this like close to that sensation with like your hand. It's real life skin. It's a tougher skin than the vagina skin, but it's also not you constructing a fuck cup. You're making a fuck cup out of a glove and sponges. It's gonna get it's not gonna get messy, but it's also gonna get that's weird too. You might as well get the fleshlight, and they've actually had the time to think like, oh, you have this part that screws off, or you can like run it through the dishwasher or something. I don't know how they. I think they have a thing literally where you can unscrew it and like drip out the thing and then like run it under the sink. I think the price, it's cheaper. Don't you love how I'm doing the at home sex toy review? I didn't even realize that's what this was going to be, but uh it was just very interesting the fact that it really I wanted to know what other, because that's another thing is not only on like on the show am I interested in educating myself and others and helping people whenever I can, uh because like there's not often times that I can teach somebody something. We learned that on the last episode when I didn't even realize that there was universal produce codes, and the fact that existed blew my mind. So I'm not somebody that's going to teach somebody a lot of things a lot of times. But if I'm somebody who can see something on the website that's educational, then it's almost like how people used to refer to, like they used to say about like Playboy, like, oh, I read it for the articles and stuff like that. Like, oh no, I was on Pornhub for the educational videos. This is how you make a sex toy. This is like one of the things was like uh there's always like those things that are like, oh, hey, here's how you uh, make a girl squirt or something like that, or do whatever. And it's like, I don't know, like is that a thing that, because there's like I've heard even like doctors say like, yeah, I mean it could just be piss, or it's this, you do have a discharge, it's this, it's a reaction, like But it's like I think it seems like a thing that like just some people can do. I don't know if you can just go like that's like saying like here's how you can tickle somebody's nose. Like maybe some people's noses aren't ticklish. I don't know how you can blanket say that. But when it's an educational video that's saying like here's how you can make your own fleshlight, I go, let me try it out. And I try it out and I go, okay, not that bad. Ian saying here, do yourself a favor and go down the rabbit hole of reading Amazon reviews for the 55-gallon drum of lube. Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 4011. The fact that both John and my wife knew 4011. Yeah, bananas. Attention pounders, next time you're in Pornhub, look up Lemaire Lee. I'm not going to say you will get off on the content, but you will giggle. How? Yeah, absolutely. Check out Lemaire Lee's Pornhub page as well as his OnlyFans. I'm sure he has an OnlyFans. Lemaire Lee of Gross Domesticated fame. He is a Hall of Famer for sure. I think he was the first ever guest as well.
Gross.
That's him right there. And also here's Lemaire.
Adultification.
He's a very intricate part of the GDP family as well as Baby Mermaid Productions. And also look for the sumo match happening in John's backyard 4th of July weekend. Between Lemaire Lee and I, there will be live betting, live streaming, as well as a full-on, you will see how we prepared for the sumo wrestling match, as well as all of the events coming up. You know, we got a lot of big things happening with that. John, I haven't even updated you on it actually, but I will. Not like big, like you're gonna have to like get permits or anything like that, but like big enough that it's you're gonna be excited. So that's very exciting, as well as 2 days. Yeah, the next time we are pounding together, guys, Wednesday, that evening, which I better, by the way, I better like schedule a fucking nap that day. I have a very busy day on Wednesday. Wednesday evening, I will be making my return to stand-up comedy in Columbia, Maryland, at the Periodic Table. This is not a plug. It's just me being vulnerable and saying, I hope I do well. It's been a long time since I've taken my second quarantine. It's so weird. This is going to be one of the hardest times of my life that I'm going to have to explain. I feel like so many people have so many shared experiences and so many completely polar opposite experiences. And it's been such a fucking weird thing that like it's hard to even gauge what's because it felt like, and I know for people in the South, and I think that's a lot of people are placing a lot of judgment on more of the outlaw states like Florida or Texas and stuff like that, me included. um, of like, but in the warmer weather, it felt different. I don't know why, but it. Hold on a second. Not the weather. I understand why the weather felt different, but the COVID, my personal COVID fears and or hesitations. Not with it starting, mid March of last year. Like again, I know every fucking show, everybody, because we're running out of things to talk about. We're running out of experiences, live experiences. If anything, when we opened up back up, when things were more open before in the summertime, it felt different. It was weird in the sense that like the COVID restrictions, like my COVID fears were not as, I didn't feel at as on edge, I guess. But knowing that like I'm halfway through my vaccine, I got to get the other half, which is also scheduled on Wednesday. So maybe an app is not in the cards for Wednesday. But there's side effects that are there. There's all this other stuff that it just felt like and the only test I've ever taken for COVID, it was negative. I don't I haven't had any of the major feelings of it. So as far as I know, I have not had it. It just feels like it's been so chopped up this year that it's just strange to say to it's hard to explain the time. So let's just say around August and something like that. Uh, we're all doing comedy again, and then around September, October, I feel like is when it started to close up again. When it started getting colder out again, I think that's when we started a lot of the mics stopped. Ron stopped running the mics. I just got a notification today that he's bringing it back on March 2nd. That's good. The Mr. Tongue open mic is going to be back on Tuesday, March 2nd. So make sure you check that out as well. Uh, and so maybe everybody's kind of getting to the same page. Maybe enough people are vaccinated that more fears are being uh, like more. They're more at ease now. I don't know. But me personally, I am literally getting the second vaccine and then driving to that show. So as soon as I'm possibly able to get back to doing stand-up comedy on a regular basis, I'm doing it. I'm still wearing my mask. I'm still doing all that other bullshit, but I'm doing it. So I'm very happy to see that the show is so. I got to work on how I talk. Either I'm having this weird like uh uh maybe three coffees is too much now. Maybe it's not enough. Maybe I need to just take time, breathe, speak in full sentences. I'm very excited to get back to comedy, is what I'm saying. I didn't know how much I missed it until, again, I got to do it in that little break in the summertime when we went to Virginia. We did a show out there. And I did some open mics and some shows around locally. It was cool, even though it was mics, and I didn't get to do the thing where I get to travel a bunch. It was still me being able to do jokes on stage, and it's and you I maybe I was in denial of how much I missed it, but I really do miss it, and I would like to get into more of a more of a routine this time, because now it feels, at least on my end, more permanent, because being someone who has gotten vaccinated, I feel more confident going on a regular basis. So I'm returning to comedy starting this Wednesday at the Periodic Table in Columbia, Maryland, sold out. Hopefully it doesn't get snowed out or fucking COVIDed or something. Or there's still a curfew, and I don't care. That's fine. I have no problem, and I want this to be clear. I have no problem still wearing my mask. I may still do it even when they say you don't have to. I may do it until they tell me I can't. That's something I completely changed on, and I'm totally fine with that. There's nothing wrong with sanitizing my hand. What are the really bad things aside from the deaths and the businesses lost? Really, we all wash our hands more. We're all doing that. It's gonna be fun, but I'm very excited to be able to do that, because I've seen a lot of my friends, and I'm not. There is no people are handling this different. And this is something that I learned from watching a lot of people even just talk about politics with each other, talk about different issues. Is like you don't have to overshare. You don't necessarily have to share, but uh, judgment can be reserved sometimes, because again, I didn't realize how much I missed doing stand-up comedy until I realized that show is this week. I had no idea. I'm a little nervous, obviously, because I would have liked to have gotten some practice rounds in beforehand, but I kind of feel that's what this has been. It's an echo chamber. I'm not doing 2 hours of time. So I'm not as nervous as I am excited, and I want to do well, and I want to, because just like jujitsu or any of the other things that I love, it's one of those things that if it's just not in your life for that much time, you're like, well, like, am I is it gonna be? Am I gonna still remember how to do it? Am I still gonna remember? Am I gonna be able to get back into my same routine? Am I gonna still have to run bits now, Pat? Okay. Uh, hey, what's the deal with it? The problem is no, I do the soup joke. Yeah, okay, I can do that one. Yeah, I do the soup joke. I mean, it's the I remember my jokes. I think. Actually, that's a good point. I should run bits. I should do this. I think I'm gonna do the thing where like where a lot of I didn't do this, and I probably should have, and it's a good practice to get into anyway. But like practicing in front of a mirror or practicing instead of that, this is supposed to be a good exercise to where I'm not supposed to hum and ha too much or say lean on too many qualifiers or too many words. I shouldn't a bunch, but I do, and it's just how I talk. It's how my brain works. Like my brain can't think of a word right now. That's the word. It's just so it's genuine Pat all the time, even on stage. So I actually no, like now. Oh, like do it now. It's so funny that people call it the soup joke. I guess because of the you don't want to give away the because you don't want to give away the punchline. Saying like too much. Yeah, I say that too much. Wait. Are you yeah, I do that. Are you saying like you do that? Wife George is here. What's going on, wife? She's working hard. Probably on her lunch break right now. But she'll be there. She actually has the day off. That woman got a day off. Oh yeah, I do that too. But I do that too. And that's why also sometimes you can just not listen to yourself. It's not that I'm not nervous about doing like a 10 or 12-minute set, but I think oh man, I keep farting. I had to concentrate on that one. Nope, no 12:30 piss break today either. I think I timed it right. But wait, we got it. Hold on. We got a request. Got a request. Let's find out if it's real. If it's real, this is big, guys. Let's find out. It's real.
Hello.
Wife George is here.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
It's going good.
How's your day?
So far, so good. I'm getting stuff done.
Nice. It's a lot of snow, right? Did it stop snowing by you?
I'm in the back room. I don't know.
You're in the dungeon.
I'm in the dungeon, stuck at the computer.
Oh no.
So what were you guys just talking about?
Just critiquing yourself on how you talk, how you say stuff. Like a lot of times I'm nervous about going back on stage. Not necessarily nervous, but excited. And I didn't realize how excited I was until I realized it was today. So not today.
You're on stage today?
This week. Sorry, this week.
Okay.
I meant to say this week.
Like, wait, what?
I misspoke. But it's just interesting. And I'm glad that I'll be able to get in get back into my routine because like anything, like jujitsu, stand-up comedy, or anything like that, if I stop doing it for a while, it's a little scary to know, like, can I get back into how I was doing before, like the clip I was working at before, because I was really happy with like how much I was able to do comedy locally, like thanks to Ron for running as many mics as he was and work out bits and stuff like that, as well as like jujitsu, of getting back into like the 3 to 4 days a week, and like and to actually be able to do like to get back on my plan. I forgot what my plan was. Like I wanted to compete on a regular basis. I wanted to do other things. So like stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. That's actually been a lot of like my calls today is like realigning your purpose.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Like just to like everyone gets caught up in, whatever the day to day and it's all crazy, but what is your purpose and make sure you stick to it.
Right. And
just remember your goals.
And that's what I was trying to say was like that. Like, I think we're all on the same wavelength. Like Lemaire is one of my friends that has been fortunate enough to do comedy on a regular basis in like real comedy spots. Not saying that like, like open mics are not necessarily that, but like perform in performance venues.
Yeah.
And Alan is another one that did that for a while too. But like, going in and out of quarantine, going in and out of like this and that, I think everybody, maybe now that more vaccines have been like put out, that there may be more people are visualizing, okay, we're on our way out of this. Let's start trying to figure out what we're going to start doing. And it's funny that we're both already on that wavelength. Like we're already
Yeah.
both like, yeah, we got to figure out, because I'm thinking, you know, we've done a lot of talking about personal issues in recently, and about how, like, how the thing was like, how can we shut shit down, but like, oh, we can just keep going, like, even though all this stuff is happening. And I feel like that's because
Right.
we've prepared, you know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
So
which is new for us. That's
Yeah.
usually, it's just, we go into crisis mode. Well, I do. I panic, and then I get like super anxious, and then I have a mental breakdown, and then you tell me to shut up, that it's fine, everything will work out, and it always does.
Not always. I don't tell you to shut up. I mean, I tell you to, you know.
What do you say?
Pipe down, motherfucker.
Okay, how my brain interprets it is you saying shut down or shut up. It's like that's how I take it.
No, but
like Bert Kreischer, when he it's so funny when because I listened to Wife of the Party, his Bert Kreischer's wife's podcast, and she'll ask that, like, what did you just hear me say? Yeah. And he's like, I heard you say blah blah blah, and she's like, that's not what I said. Right. And he's like, yeah, but that's how I took it. Like, I relate to that so much. So in those moments of like crisis, for me, it's you know, like, I'm hearing you tell me that I'm overreacting, and you're not those words didn't actually come out of your mouth. He's
Bert Kreischer and you're Dom Crisis. Or he's Bert Kreischer, you're Dom Crisis. I fucked that up.
Yeah.
See, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna be great. You're gonna have to do you're gonna actually have to come on stage with me. Okay. Verbally abusive Pat here.
But it's in my head. He's not actually verbally abusive. Yeah, that's why it's in my head.
Yeah, that's why I was like, don't tell them I tell you to shut up. I don't tell you to shut up. Shut up, Dom. Shut up.
Shut up.
No, I'm just, it was one of those things that I wanted to, it's just, I don't know. Like, I want to be able to, and everybody is in that same scenario where it's like, oh, I just want to, it's been so long and I want to get back to my life, blah, blah, blah. But we said the same thing. I was driving to jiu-jitsu this morning with Pat, and he said, you know, we were talking, he's like, you know, I don't know. He's like, we were responsible. Like, they just came back from Florida, or not just, but like they came back, but they were somebody, they're like, they got tests. They've been, you know, they were responsible with, you know, like stuff like that. Like, they didn't fly, they drove instead. Like, there was precautions that they took, and then not to give, you know what I mean? Like, but that we were talking about it this morning, and it sounded like he was trying to like justify it. And I was like, and he's like, yeah. It's just been, but we almost said at the same time, it's just been so long since you've been able to not be in your day-to-day routine, which is work, home, sleep, work, home, sleep, work, home, sleep. And it's like, and not that we don't love home and sleep, you know, but it's not that you need something to break up the monotony. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So where's your show on Wednesday? Columbia, Maryland, and it's actually sold out. That's what I was saying. Is like, it's not a plug. It's already sold out. It's already happening. I hope it doesn't get COVIDed. There's a COVID curfew. Apparently, there's a COVID curfew in that area, so we have to get the show on time. We have to make sure we get to work on time and everything. But I have a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm so excited about that. I cannot remember the last like show that I've been to. And that's, you know, that's part of my social life as well, is, you know, when you going with you to shows and stuff. So I'm excited to have that again. Yeah, we get to drive, and that's the thing is like, and driving. I'm not trying to say that like we have very, very few pleasures in our life, you know what I mean, that we really do truly enjoy, and it's quality time with each other, and it's being able to travel. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to diminish anyone's losses or any deaths that have happened or anything like that. But after a while, this stuff does take that kind of toll on you as well. Mental health is as important as physical health. It is part of physical health. So, and this is part of your mental health. Like, you can diminish it by saying like, oh, you don't get to take a vacation. Oh, you don't get to drive and do the things you like. Yeah. It's been over a year of being in essentially solitary confinement for most people in their own home for sure. but in that sense of like literally, if you're not around, I don't really talk to anybody. And if I think about that
Right.
on a prolonged basis, that's like a week of possibly not talking to somebody if you're somebody who just works at home and doesn't have to Zoom conference.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's isolating, and that's bad for your mental health. So
Yeah, for sure.
And-
Did you see what Ian wrote?
what?
Using a fleshlight on each other equals quality time. How do
Oh.
you use that on each other?
I don't know. I think it would be, I don't know if you would, I think you would have to use a different.
Not for me.
No. That would be, that's something. I think that would be for a different couple, let's say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but that's the thing. So like you can think about that being so isolating. So if you're also isolated from the thing that you've kind of tied your identity to, how long can I call myself a stand-up comic with how long it's been since I've done, you know what I mean? After a while, if you really think about it, there needs to be a line where you can go like, oh yeah, there's like, you have to be realistic, but as well as like, it's hard to figure out when you need to be realistic and when you need to be motivating to yourself and being somebody that's like, no, this is the, you know, so it's just nice to be able to just go back into doing the act of doing stand-up comedy. So I don't feel like such a lump, you know?
Yeah.
But
you're not a lump.
You're not a lump either.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. Thanks for coming in at the end of the show, babe. I love you.
Yeah, no problem. I love you.
Bruce.